Hello guys, this is gonna be my herb run guide, and a lot of you might be saying, what is this? I don't even herb run guide, that's shit money, but it actually makes a good amount, and I've actually made bank from it and gotten a total of 17.2 mil farming XP, which, I mean, that's a good amount to me, but yeah, I mean, it's really good profit. I make like 400 to 500k a run average now, which is actually, which I mean, it's not like for a lot of people it won't be good enough as a primary money making method, but I mean, if you do it often enough and you don't like blow your money that often, I mean, for me it keeps up with my buyables, and that's like so far it has. Sometimes I have to key dungeons to keep up when I'm really spending a lot, but overall it really keeps up, and whether it does keeps up or not, it's still worth it. It's still worth it to do, because let's face it, 400k in like 3 minutes once you have all the good stuff is really good. I mean, what is that, like, it's a lot per hour. I'm not gonna do math, but it's a lot per hour spent on it, and and I know it takes an hour for herbs to grow, but that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. It just means you have a time restriction on how often you can make a cash at a rate of 6 mil or so per hour. So it's still like 6 mil an hour. It's just restricted on how often you can do it. Sort of like miscellanea. Miscellanea is 7 mil per hour, but you can't do it that often. Not that often at all. In fact, you can only do it for like 1 minute max a day. But back onto the guide. What I've done here, I've compiled all the things I need for Herbler and all the things I need for mining in one inventory. I bring just enough lava titans to last me the inventory, so I actually have space for the run. And it's kind of a pain in the ass since I only have like 12 inventory slots for torstals, and if I get like 20 or so from a plot, which actually does happen, which is pretty awesome, like, I don't have enough space for them, and I have to like click on the leprechaun and then go back. But I still think that's better than having to bank every single time. I also have more shell and mushroom spores in here, which are very good profit. Like, they're like 100k a plot, which is very good, but you can only do them like every 3 hours or something, and it's very good. Now I actually need to do Jack of Trades, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how to do Jack of Trades in a full herb run, getting like an average of 50 herbs a run in one herb run. So let's go, pro skilling. I'm just going to go over some items in my inventory, why they're there. Torsal seeds, that's what I farm. It's the best thing to farm right now if you have all the good stuff. D-pick, because I'm mining. Law runes to telly, nature runes, and astral runes. Astral runes I think I need to telly with. I don't really know, but all I know is these runes cover every spell I use. But astral runes are used for both fertilized soil and telling, and nature runes are used for fertilized soil, which is a lot more convenient than super combos for about the same cost. And the house tellies are so that I can do the more shell and mushrooms. I use my Canifis portal to get there. I will make a short little video of me doing them. I don't think they're ready right now, so I can't do them, but who knows, they might be. Let me check. This is a remote farm. I'll go into that a little later, but yeah, produce growing in it means it's not ready. So I also have magic secateurs to increase harvest yield by 10%. That should be pretty obvious. Juju farming potion, you get that from herbivore habitat. If you don't have this, you probably shouldn't do herb runs. I mean, it'll probably only be like 2 to 3 mil per hour spent on it, which is really inconvenient, and most people can make, like, a lot of people can make that just at frost. So if you can do that, then I wouldn't. If you can do frost, then I wouldn't do herb runs without Juju farming. But Juju farming, what it does is it has after you drink a dose, it lasts for 5 minutes, so that's a good way. If you can't keep your herb runs under 5 minutes, you're doing something very wrong. So you use 1 dose a run, which is very, like, you can gather these in mass amounts. I have supplies for around 200 of them, and 203 dose, which is like 600 herb runs, which is ridiculous. But what they do is they increase you have 1/3 chance of getting 2 herbs from one little pick. So like, you know how, like, if you pick a herb, it usually appears one at a time, or you have a 1/3 chance of 2 herbs appearing in your inventory at one time. And if that happens, then you get 2 herbs, and you still get the same amount of picks as average. So on average, you get like you'd get 4 over 3 times more herbs, or 1.33 repeating times more herbs, to go all mathematic ape shit on you guys. But yeah, bone crushers for ease. I don't know why I'm skipping over all this, but Ectophile's pretty obvious. That's how you get to the plot. Varrock teleports is so I can get back to Lava Flow Mine or sell the herbs when I run out of seeds. Bone Crushers so I can do easily Jack of Trades. These are just my herb. Gem bags for when I get gems. I've gotten a lot now, 33 sapphires. But Karazi for Jack of Trades. Marshalla mushrooms because I did them today and I don't bother selling them everyone because that's just a pain in the ass. So now onto what I'm wearing. The only important things here are Jack of Trades. Jack of Trades I use, obviously. I use full gold mining just for the stuff. I mean, glory is just convenient just in case you need a really quick bank, but you can also do Moon Clan Teleport, which is pretty quick. I mean, and Explorer's Ring so you can get to Cabbage Port, Fallador Shield, more XP at Fallador Plot, Mud Battle Staff so you don't have to bring Earth and Water Runes because it does require those. Now, some other special shit you can get is Scroll of Life, which is very, very good on Torstalls. It has a 1/3 chance of getting your seed back, and if you're no, not 1/3. That'd be fucking crazy. 1/10 chance. So the way you would factor that into your Herbone profit is like every time you finish farming a plot, you could get 1 seed back. You have a 1/10 chance to get 1 seed back. So if you multiply the seed cost by 1/10, you get the average profit per patch by the Scroll of Life. So that's good. That's very good. And for Torstalls, that's around 30k, which adds up to be like, how much would it be? 30k times 5, that's 150k. Which is a good amount. That's added on to your profit from herbs, and 150k extra per run is a decent amount, considering your herb runs. Like instead of being 250k, that would be 400k, which is really, really a bigger difference. Now, remote farming, what you do is, I'm just gonna click on this. It basically gives you the status of all your crops, but if you just click down here, you get your herb plots, and mine are fully grown because I've been anticipating this video. But say they weren't grown, it would say produce growing in it, and if they were diseased, it would say this crop is diseased or something, and it appears in bold red. So if you go like this, you really can't miss it. Say you're growing a ton of things, if you just go like this, you can't really miss it. And if it says it's diseased, you just click on it and you can cure it for free. And then it appears back, and then after you cure it, it comes back to the screen. So if you have multiple plots diseased, you can just cure them too, which is very, very convenient. And so that's the basics of remote farm. Growth cycles for herbs are around 20 minutes each. So you want to remote farm a little less than every 20 minutes. But if you remote farm every 20 minutes, it's very unlikely that they'll die. What happens is, if your herbs get diseased, it takes them 20 minutes of being diseased to die, and that's a minimum. So theoretically, they could last days without dying otherwise, but that's very unlikely. So after they get diseased, every 20 minutes they have a shot of dying. But the thing is, you don't know when the 20-minute cycles are. So if you remote farm and then close it, the growth cycle could happen right after that, and they could get diseased. And then 20 minutes later, your crops could die because 20 minutes have passed. And then you remote farm again right after they die, and you find your crops died, and you're like, what the fuck? It's only been 20 minutes. How did they die? But yeah, if you remote farm every 20 minutes, the likelihood of that happening is very unlikely. But if you remote farm every 40 minutes, then it could actually really happen. So my advice is, if you're not good about it, just like keep a note of the time. Maybe like set up a timer or something every 20 minutes, and then remote farm every 20 minutes. That's what I had to do when I was wood cutting. But yeah, that's a good idea to do. But every 20 minutes, and you should be set. And it really can't hurt to do it too often, because it's like 50 G. It's like it's like 1K cast, which really isn't that much. And you get magic XP if you value that, but it's not much because you could potentially save like 300K. But if you're stingy about it, keep a timer and only do it every 20 minutes. So yeah. So I'm gonna go on to the actual run. And if I forget anything, I will explain as I go. By the way, for the Juju farming, you get it from Herblore Habitat. There are a ton of guides out there for Herblore Habitat, but it's really easy to do, and it gives amazing Hunter XP. So, while you might think, oh, I'm not going to waste hours making that, well, you get a ton of Hunter XP, so it's really worth it, actually. So, unless you don't value Hunter XP, in which case, fuck it, but yeah. So, what you want to do is, when you get to the first plot, you want to drink your Juju farming, so that you don't waste any dose. I use the ectophile plot because it's a farther story, but it really doesn't matter. So you drink it, drop the vial if you want to, and just gonna move this in here for cleanness. And you get it. See, I just got 2 herbs. It tells you when you get 2 herbs. See, there again. And I have to use these on the leprechaun, as I said, because I got like a bajillion. So I'm gonna keep going. Now I do it like this. I switch to the mud battle staff. Use the seeds on here, then use fertile soil on it, then telly. I mean, that's the fastest way I've seen. I mean, because it's just such a quick switch from the mud battle staff, and otherwise you don't really know when to equip it because you can end up clicking on it and then it not really working. So I find this way is the best, plus you really don't waste much time. So as soon as the herbs disappear, you want to let me do it. The herbs disappear, so I do it like simultaneously, and it sounds awesome. So click, use on patch, go to that. Yeah. You can use F keys if you want, but this isn't PKing, this is farming, and chances are while moving your mouse you'll be fast enough. Try to equip things and unequip things as good times to not interrupt what you're already doing. So, I mean, you'll get used to it, but yeah. So this is pretty much it. I use the ectophile and the explorer's ring so far. Now, for the Ardone patch, you can use your cape, which gets you right there. You need 3 or above. 3 is 1 teleport a day, 4 is infinite. But I'm just going to show you a fishing guild teleport, which is probably the fastest way to get there besides a cloak. Now, I think the range guild is pretty close, but I'm unaware of how close it is. And it's just so convenient to be able to just use a fishing guild teleport, because you already have all the runes, really. So farm in this plot. Did that person just run from Catherby? I think they did. Because, I mean, Ardone Cloak doesn't teleport you that far, it teleports you like right there. But, oh well, I'm gonna judge. Okay. Catherby. Use the Catherby teleport for that. I highly suggest being on Lunars, by the way. If you're on regular spells, wait, I was already here. Fuck. Oh well. I showed you guys how to get there because I didn't explain it last time probably. Now that's the Trollheim teleport. This is so useful, but it requires so much livid farm. You need like 700,000 points or something. I somehow got through it and I got it, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. And it's so nice. It really gets your runs to be like 3 minutes each, and it's so nice. You literally save like a minute every herb run, and that's very, very nice. So now, oh, I forgot to do jacket trades. Fuck. I'll do it over here. Okay. Cut logs, light logs. So I already got magic XP, so I'm not gonna bother quasi-specking. I'm just gonna give it a little poke. But first, I need to pickpocket. Wow, I missed. Son of a champion. Wow. Okay, to KO him, I'm gonna use the spec. Wow! 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 Okay. Okay.